Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Stars base in friendly Winnipeg, Manitoba. My name is Mark Oden. I'm a member of the Stars communications team, and I will be your host this morning on this very special live stream event as we prepare to welcome the H145 helicopter to Manitoba for the first time. As you can see behind me, we have our hangar here starting to fill up with some guests. We're going to have a cross-section of allies, supporters, patients, and of course our very own crew here today, many dignitaries all coming together to celebrate this wonderful milestone in STAR's Fleet Renewal Program. The program will get underway at approximately 10:30. And in the meantime, we invite you to watch some images that have been curated from the past 10 years of the crew, the patients who have been so instrumental in STAR's success in Manitoba, and of course, all the allies and community supporters who have made it happen. Please enjoy. Okay.
Okay, yeah, this is back on.
Hi, my name is Mark. I should put this on. Welcome back, everyone. We are here in the Stars hangar in Winnipeg. We're anticipating the beginning of the program to celebrate the arrival of the H145 helicopter. And we've got so many great guests here today from a cross-section of Manitoba, including many of our very important patients. And we have one here with us right now. We have Beckham Koscielny and his mom, Rochelle. And you know, we've watched you grow up, Beckham. You had an accident many years ago, and now look at you today. Maybe could the two of you say what stars means to you?
All right. So when Beckham was 6 weeks old, he was extremely sick and had to be flown to Winnipeg. So to us, it means everything because it means we still have him here with us today. Being in Nipawin and rural and just trying to get to the level of care that we needed. Without them, I don't think he would be here today. So.
Well, and we're so thankful for everything that you do to be an ambassador for STARS, to promote the importance of it. Beckham, I wonder what you're looking forward to about today.
Seeing the helicopter.
Seeing that new shiny red helicopter. It's pretty exciting. Pretty exciting. And looks a little bit different than the one that you were flown in.
Yep.
But you'll be able to go and see it up close and personal. And we're really so glad you could be here with us today.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
We're happy to be here.
And, everyone here is going to be looking forward to getting a chance to see it up close and personal when it does land a while from now. We'll take another break and hopefully be back to speak with another person who has been impacted or who has impacted STARS before the program gets underway. Hi everyone, and welcome back to the live stream of the H145 welcome event coming to you from the Stars hangar in friendly Winnipeg, Manitoba. I am here with one of the many allies that are with us today in the hangar. We have Joy, Mayor from the RM of St. Andrews. Welcome and thanks so much for being here today.
Well, thank you so much. It's an honor to be here. I thank you for the invitation. We're a supporter of STARS. You're a wonderful organization, and I know we've been called and relied on you for many accidents we've had in our area, and I can't say enough good things about your organization.
Well, thank you so much. It goes both ways. We say that it takes a community to save a life, that STARS was built by the community for the community, and it's, communities like yours supporting us so we can be there for your citizens and working with your local first responders, volunteer fire departments to land the aircraft. It takes a whole team to make it happen, and we're just so thrilled you could be here for us, be here with us today.
Oh, you're more than welcome, and again, I'm honored to be here, and thank you for the great job you all do.
Thank you. I got to ask, are you looking forward to seeing the new helicopter?
Yes, I am. It's very exciting.
We're all very excited for it, and we look forward to it coming in a matter of minutes. Thank you so much, Joy.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone, and you are back live at the STARS base in Winnipeg, Manitoba, where we await the arrival of the H145 helicopter. Today is a big day. We have a lot of people squeezing through our reception area to get into the hangar here. And of course, this event is happening in full compliance with the current public health orders. I'm not wearing my mask right now because it's just you and me. We are going to be delayed a few minutes, folks, simply because we're processing the people coming through, registering, also providing proof that they have been had double vaccination so that they can, in fact, attend this event. So we ask you to enjoy the slideshow that's going on. Bear with us. We will be with you as soon as we can and get this show going for you. We're really excited you could join us today, and we're really looking forward to getting going with this very momentous program shortly. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. The STARS H145 welcome celebration will commence in 2 minutes. Please take your seats. Once again, today's program will begin in 2 minutes.
Before the missions, before the crew, before the fuel, flight suits, and gear, before our first coat of red paint, there was a need for vision, a need for response, a need for courage. A a need that grew from the community, for the community. And as long as there's a need, we'll be there. With you by our sides, we are all stars.
Dear guests, as the STARS H145 welcome celebration begins, we'd like to bring a few items to your attention. Please follow current health guidelines, including the usage of masks while inside the hangar, and help yourself to complimentary hand sanitizer provided throughout the building. In case of an emergency, you are asked to evacuate through the marked exit door at the northwest corner of the hangar and proceed to the muster point at the northwest corner of the parking lot. Washrooms are located in the portable facilities just outside the building through the northwest hangar door. If you require any assistance during today's event, please ask any member of the STARS team in attendance. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Good morning, everyone.
Life can change in an instant. How you respond makes all the difference. Finding strength in the people around you and resolve within yourself. To us, courage is more than a helicopter. The fight for life is more than a day's work. To lift one takes the hands of many. The courage to respond is within all of us. With you by our sides, we are all stars.
Distinguished guests, please welcome to the stage STARS Transport Physician and your Master of Ceremonies, Dr. Julian Regier.
Well, thank you. I'll start now then, I guess. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the STARS Winnipeg base. As you heard, I'm Dr. Julian Regier. I'm an emergency physician at Health Science Center and have been for the last 7 years. And during that period of time, I've also been a STARS transport physician here. And I'm excited to share with you this truly historic milestone, as well as with our colleagues and allies who are joining us online via the live stream broadcast. You may have heard the slogan, "We are all stars." We saw it in that touching video just moments ago. It's a reminder that when STARS celebrates an accomplishment, like we are today, it's thanks to the dedication, support, and commitment of all of you, the STARS crews across the entire organization, the allies who contribute in so many ways, and the patients who motivate the STARS team every single day. Today is more than just welcoming a new helicopter to STARS in Manitoba. It's recognizing and thanking everyone in this hangar who made it all possible. And in the spirit of coming together, I would like to acknowledge that we are on Treaty 1 territory and that the land on which we gather is the traditional territory of the Anishinaabe, Cree, Ojibwe, Dakota, and Dene peoples, and on the homeland of the Métis Nation. I'd also like to welcome some special guests that we have with us today. From the Government of Manitoba, the Honourable Kelvin Gertsen, Premier of Manitoba, the Honourable Audrey Gordon, Minister of Mental Health, Wellness and Recovery, and Minister of Health and Seniors Care. The Honorable Cameron Friesen, Minister of Justice. The Honorable Jeff Wharton, Minister of Crown Services. The Honorable Derek Johnson, Minister of Municipal Relations. The Honorable John Reyes, Minister of Economic Development and Jobs. Scott Johnson, MLA for Assiniboia, and Andrew Micklefield, MLA for Rossmere. From our partners at Shared Health Emergency Response Services, Dr. Rob Grierson, Chief Medical Officer, and Michelle Pinwinick, Director of Specialty Services and Coordination. Here in Manitoba and across Western Canada, the sight of a Red Stars helicopter in the sky is one that is familiar to us all. When a life is on the line, it is a beacon of hope for those in their hour of greatest need. Today, we celebrate the arrival of the next generation of a helicopter fleet that will help STARS fight for the lives of the next generations of patients in need. I'd like to remind everyone that even as we overtake the base for our celebration, STARS' mission never pauses, and today's flight crew is at the ready to respond. In fact, today's flight crew is out on a mission. They were dispatched about 30 minutes ago, and some of you had the chance to see the helicopter lift and fly off on that mission. In the meantime, let's continue our program. Our first speaker is an individual whose vision, passion, and drive have led STARS to new heights and who has turned the dream of fleet renewal into reality. Please join me in welcoming the President and CEO of STARS, Andrea Robertson.
I've been saying for a little while, let's get this party started, so here we are, right? Thanks, Julian. Thanks for everything you do for us each and every day, and working with your fellow STARS transport physicians to do for the people of Manitoba what you do, and being our MC, of course. I'd also like to introduce and acknowledge members of our hardworking volunteer board of directors who are with us today. Helen Kasdorf, can you just wave, Helen, wherever you are? Helen's our board chair. Mike Torbenson, Mike, I saw you. And I don't know if Adrian is here as well. Dr. Adrian Robertson is also on our board. Thank you for your leadership. Couldn't do this job without you for sure. I want to start today with a message of thanks. This has been one challenging 18 months. Holy smokes. But you know what? This is a very friendly crowd. We did this together. I see lots of our colleagues here today, including from Orange. Thanks for coming. I'm grateful to our government and all of our colleagues across the entire health system. In particular, our first responder partners in EMS, fire, city police, RCMP, who work shoulder to shoulder with our crew each and every day on every mission that we fly. I'm grateful for everyone here and across our province who have done their part to follow the public health orders, roll up your sleeves, and help stop the spread of COVID-19. It has been a very difficult journey, and hopefully, well, we'll see, right? We'll see. I'm incredibly grateful to everyone who has stood by us throughout this difficult time. Our supporters who recognize that while many of our fundraising activities have been forced to take a break, emergencies don't stop, not even for a virus. Finally, and most importantly, I am immensely proud of our team. I said to the Premier this morning that in my 40 years of nursing, I've never seen anything like this. And it's taken all of your strength. And that's what we do, right, folks? We respond, all of us, in emergencies, and we stand together with our partners and individually to make sure that we're caring for the people that most need our care. So for everything you've done, team, whether you're in the aircraft or on the ground, I just want to really say a big, huge, gigantic thank you to all of you. In 1985, our fight for life began with a single idea, that one life lost was one life too many. And here we are 36 years later, believe it or not, and our vision for delivering innovative emergency critical care across Western Canada is not only alive and well, but indeed leading the way. As an organization, we've come very far in those 36 years. One base grew to 6, one air ambulance grew to include an entire fleet of aircraft. And our first mission has led to more than 45,000 missions across Western Canada. And now we're amid our most ambitious project to date, and that is renewing our fleet because they're 36 years old. Indeed, today is a culmination of years and years of hard work, of defining our needs, and of planning the path forward for our organization. Our beloved BK-117 aircraft that you would have seen 30 minutes ago just took off on another mission has served us well for tens of thousands of missions. But these long-serving workhorses are reaching their end of life. The manufacturers stopped making them, and they're getting costlier to maintain and difficult to get parts so that we can maintain our serviceability of 24/7, 365 days a year for all Manitobans. The Airbus H145 aircraft was determined to be the best choice for safety, for operations, for fiscal responsibility, and this great aircraft is going to help move our organization forward at a mere cost of $13 million apiece. And with 10 helicopters needed for our entire fleet, our fundraising work was cut out for us to keep the fight in flight. But thanks to phenomenal support from partners, corporate partners, government, community allies, and individuals, our fleet renewal dream is just about a complete reality. We can't wait to show it to you later in the program. Before we look to that, though, towards the future stars in Manitoba with our new aircraft, I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge the honor and privilege it's been for us to serve the people of this province for over a decade. Implementing stars in Manitoba took many hands and much teamwork through the healthcare system. To all our partners in the chain of survival and our colleagues in particular at Shared Health, Rob, thank you for all your support through the many years we've worked together. And STARS absolutely would not have happened without the steadfast support of the government of Manitoba. To Premier Gordson, to all your colleagues, and the very many health ministers that have been past and present here today, thank you very much. Thank you for all your support and all you've done. And we know our government has been standing by our shoulders and supporting us through this time. Very challenging. Thank you for your service to this province and to the people here. I think that deserves a round of applause. Then, of course, our corporate and individual support has made it all possible. I'd love to name everybody, but I'm just going to name a few. I don't know if you're here, Jean Fraser from MacDon. Hi, Jean. Long time, man. From James Richardson and Sons and the Richardson Foundation. Mike, thanks for your support of that. High Life Foundation and many, many more. As I'm sure you'll all agree, all this hard work has been profoundly worth it. Over 5,000 missions to hundreds of communities in this province have been flown. Think about the lives saved and all the people and communities touched each and every time that helicopter leaves this hangar. STARS is truly a success story built by the community for the community. Let's celebrate this success with a video featuring many of the individuals who have helped STARS be shaped in Manitoba.
What would I say to everybody at STARS? I would say...
Okay, so the evolution of STARS in Manitoba, boy, where do I start?
That's our pre-alert.
Good to go?
I'm ready.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Good day, everyone. STARS in Manitoba has been a complete game changer.
The instigator of change in a positive way.
In 2011, we were brought in response to the flood disasters.
They asked us, could you send a helicopter and people?
Once the floods dissipated, it was recognized that, there was a need for STARS.
There was a patient need.
And so we were asked to stay.
That's simple. that complex.
The reputation preceded us.
To now being a household name when you think about critical care.
Speaks kind of volumes to the organization and the commitment they have to patients.
So many developments over time.
We are seen as leaders in the system.
We want to see the level of critical care provided to patients all across the province improved to the greatest extent possible.
It impacts everyone in the province of Manitoba, regardless of where they're living.
We've got a terrific relationship with our government partners, emergency services directors across the province.
With our EMS, our fire, and it's just been a tremendous fit.
It takes a village to create what we have here. So many allies have stepped up to help us. For that, we're very grateful.
We're all working together to make the system better.
We're not here to make a dime. We're here for one reason only, and that's to be there for the next patient.
In a province as large and vast as Manitoba,
The geography is incredibly diverse.
it's invaluable.
There's no reason that anyone in the very far reaches of our province don't deserve the same high quality level of critical care or emergent care that STARS delivers.
By sending the helicopter with an advanced crew that can start doing the critical procedures that may be done in the tertiary care center, the patient is going to get the care that much sooner.
So our commitment to the people who live, work, and play in this province is to continue to evolve as an organization.
Over the past 10 years, we've been operating the Airbus BK-117 helicopter. It's been a reliable, safe, and very effective platform for STARS.
Served us so well.
As we enter this new era with our Airbus H145, it's exciting to be part of that team to usher this helicopter into service in Manitoba.
I'm just going to call it a time machine because, honestly, this aircraft, with the crew that we carry along, will provide families and people with more time.
Not only are we advancing all the things in medical care in the back,
The more spacious interior, new equipment, new IV pumps, new ultrasound equipment.
but also in the front of the aircraft.
Autopilot, a modern avionics suite.
And when I see the new helicopter, I see the next 30 years
It's a pretty exciting time in Manitoba and for STARS.
and the next 50,000 missions across the prairies.
This is a generational investment in our people and the communities that we serve.
It will continue to provide that service.
That high quality care that Manitobans deserve.
Ultimately, all of this is put together because it's about the patient.
Getting the talented medical providers to the patient.
We are helping a lot of people in Manitoba that weren't helped before.
You can't really not feel extremely humbled and proud.
The fact that I'm a part of an organization that is bringing that to the rest of Manitoba is extremely exciting.
Was that good? Sorry.
That was all right, eh?
I save lives better than I'm on camera, so.
Thank you, Andrea. And what a great video told by passionate, talented professionals whom I'm so very proud to work alongside. Truly best in class. Now I'd like to call up to the podium some very special guests to say a few words. Please help me welcome to the stage Manitoba's new Premier, the Honorable Kelvin Goertzen.
Thank you, Dr. President CEO Robertson. What a pleasure and an honor it is to be here this morning among so many distinguished guests, none more distinguished than my wife Kim and my son Malachi, who joined me here this morning. And Malachi starts school tomorrow, so he's not skipping school for this event, although he probably would have wanted to had there been school today. And many of my colleagues from the Manitoba legislature are here as well. The last time I had this many of my colleagues together, they accidentally elected me premier, so I'm going to be careful in what I say. In 2016, I had the honor of being appointed as the Minister of Health for the province of Manitoba, and when you sit in that room for the first time, that office, you start to see the enormity of it and the number of calls and requests that come in for meetings. I know that Minister Gordon is probably feeling that now. Minister Friesen has felt it before, and MLA Heather Stephenson would have as well. And so you start to take those meetings, and there are a lot of needs, and there are a lot of requests, and there are a lot of asks. And when I had the very early opportunity to meet with the folks at STARS, I wondered what the asks would be, and there were two simple asks. They asked, can you publicly support us? And can you just let us do what we do best? And I waited because I thought there must have been more. But that was it. That's all they asked. Can you publicly support us? And will you just let us do what we do best? And so that was pretty easy compared to the requests that we were getting. So I had the opportunity to attend a number of fundraisers. So thank you for all the corporate donors who do an incredible job of supporting this organization. It is absolutely amazing. And we've asked you to do a little bit more, of course. It's noted in the video that in 2011, STARS was born because of the flood in Manitoba, and came to Manitoba as a result, and now there is a different kind of emergency. And over the last 18 months, I didn't quite hold up my end of the promise because we've asked you to do a lot more than what you were doing, and you've done that. You've stepped up. I know it's been tiring. It's been hard. But that red helicopter has made more flights, I think, than ever before, and for different reasons, and we're so appreciative of that. So now you're getting a new red helicopter, and I would say it's exciting to always have new things come, whether it's a new hospital, a new ambulance, or especially a new helicopter. But for me, when I look up and I see that helicopter flying around Steinbach, or if Minister Friesen sees it in Winkler or Morden, we look up and we know that it's not a helicopter, it's people serving people, helping people, saving lives, doing the incredible things that you do each and every day. So it was an honor for me to just keep my two promises. I do publicly support you, and we want you to keep doing what you're doing. Thank you so much for allowing me to be part of your special day.
Thank you, Premier Goertzen, for your kind remarks and for your leadership through this. Also from the Government of Manitoba, I'd like to invite to the stage the Honourable Audrey Gordon, Minister of Mental Health, Wellness and Recovery, and Minister of Health and Seniors Care.
Thank you, Dr. Rieger. I can't recall if during my time in healthcare we crossed paths, but your name is very familiar to me. Thank you for emceeing today's event. And to Andrea Robertson, President and CEO, the board members that are here, all the volunteers, every individual that has made today possible. It's a pleasure to join you today, and many of my colleagues are here. Premier Goertzen, it's such a pleasure to be here with you. I want to share with the audience that the first time I came to STARS, Premier Goertzen was Minister of Health, and I was his special assistant. And now he's here as Premier, and I'm the Minister of Health, and I'll just leave it at that. It's my honor and pleasure to bring greetings today on behalf of Health and Seniors Care and the province of Manitoba. I would like to thank my friend and previous colleague, Colleen Mayer, Director of Donor Relations and Development at STARS, for the invitation for today's event. And congratulations, as I said before, to STARS on the newest addition to the Manitoba fleet, the state-of-the-art Airbus H145. Which will ensure Manitobans have access to this life-saving service for years to come. Since 1985, as you know, STARS has completed over 45,000 missions, including 657 right here in our province. During the first year of the pandemic, these missions have been vital to saving countless lives. And I've heard some of the stories firsthand in my role as minister about how STARS has assisted during the pandemic in saving, as I said before, countless lives. STARS, as you know, provides an essential service that assists Manitobans who live outside of urban areas and who, without the STARS air ambulance services, would otherwise need to wait hours for emergency hospital care. And care begins the moment 911 is called, with operators able to relay information to paramedics rushing to the scene, who can subsequently begin to triage the patient. Those highly skilled paramedics then provide expert care when they arrive, and we saw some of that in the films that were shown earlier. And they continue to assess the patient and work in tandem with clinical teams at a hospital to determine what care needs to be provided and where best to provide that care. And STARS helps complete that link with clinical professionals trained and equipped to continue to provide critical care services to patients once they are boarded onto its aircraft and flown to appropriate hospital for treatment. I want to commend the air medical crew of paramedics, nurses, and physicians, and the aviation crews for their bravery and courage, as they often put their own personal health and safety at risk to care for others across our province. And I want to say, as Premier Gertsen has said previously, that STARS is a valuable partner in our government's efforts to improve access to emergency care across the province. And we're pleased to provide 85% of the funding for STARS in Manitoba, the largest contribution as a percentage of operating budget by any provincial government. Our partnership with STARS is an important part of our government's overall efforts to ensure emergency medical response services are accessible to all Manitobans, no matter where they live. We've worked to improve emergency medical services over the past 5 years, knowing that minutes count when a person is experiencing a medical crisis. And I just want to highlight for you that our government has created dozens of new paramedic positions to enhance staffing levels and reduce reliance on on-call staffing to increase paramedic availability across the province. We've invested millions in new ambulances to improve patient comfort and to ensure paramedic safety. And we also lowered ambulance fees by 50%. And we work to establish paramedics as a self-regulated profession. This was very recent, but something I'm very proud of. Thank you again for the opportunity to join you today, and thank you again to Premier Gertsen and all my colleagues for taking time out of your day to join the STARS team. Look forward to maybe one day seeing the helicopter take off myself, but very pleased to have joined you all here today. Thank you. Stay safe and be well.
Thank you. As Andrea said earlier, the generosity of so many makes STARS day-to-day operations possible. And, like you've heard, on top of that, we've had to turn again to our allies to fund our ambitious Keep the Fight in Flight fleet renewal campaign, which is why we're thrilled to have some fleet renewal capital campaign supporters with us here today to make some special presentations. Representing the Kinsman Club of Winnipeg is Vice President of Service, Tim McKay. Tim, please come forward.
Sorry, good morning, everybody. It's so wonderful to be here on behalf of the Winnipeg Kinsmen. Joining me is our current president, Christian Tardy, as well. As both of us grew up outside the perimeter, when you talk about the impact of the service that STARS does to save the lives of people that are in rural Manitoba and also live in Winnipeg and are doing things outside of the city, I think it's fairly easy to see that the impact STARS has is something that is province-wide. And when you're talking about saving lives, as was mentioned in one of the videos, it was started with the auspices that one life lost, it was one life too many. And so we're so happy to be here, and with the support of people across the province of Manitoba with our major project with the Kinsman Jackpot Bingo, we're excited to announce that for the Cat Punk campaign, we'll be providing and supporting it with a level of $500,000 to get the new helicopter in the hangar.
Thank you for your generous, generous support. I believe the H145 is actually in the air right now, and I know that I, at least, and probably many of you are wondering when will it arrive. So here to update us on the ETA of the new aircraft and to give us a very brief overview of some of STAR's recent missions is Critical Care Paramedic and Provincial Director of Base Operations for Manitoba, Grant Terrian.
So they're patiently hovering. No, they're up in Gimli this morning doing some training flights, and so we're going to try and reach them and see where they're at. Star 8, this is Winnipeg base. Do you read? It's a choreographed event here. We're going to get them to land right on time, so we... Star 8, Winnipeg base. Do you read? Turn it on? Yeah. Thank you, Minister Friesen. Anyway, we'll get an updated ETA for you. Super exciting. The pilots today are Jason Johnson and Rob Campweiss, who were lucky enough to get the assignment to fly in the new aircraft for this historic day. We're so excited. It was here overnight. We had a lot of crews sort of drooling over it, and they just can't wait to get on board and function within the technology and new space. It's just an incredible aircraft. So we will get an updated ETA for you, and you will hear it and see it land, and then we will get you an up-close and personal experience with the new machine as soon as we can. Thank you.
Thanks, Grant. And also thank you for everything that you do day in and day out to keep our operations running smoothly here in Manitoba. I'd like to now call on another large donor to our fleet renewal capital campaign, Tyler Beachell, Regional Sales Leader with Cargill Limited. Please join me on stage.
Thank you. I'll be really brief here, but it's been really wonderful listening to all the people talk here and get to see what the STARS community does and all the people that around here that support it. So like the Kinsman Club, Cargill is mainly located in rural communities. Our customers are in rural communities and most of our employees. And we realize how critical the STARS program is for our people in Manitoba. So I want to truly thank everybody. And today, on behalf of Cargill, we would like to make a donation of $400,000 for your fleet renewal program, and we wish you the best.
Okay, well, apparently, so I don't know if you know, but the chief of aviation for the whole organization's here. So Dave, where's the helicopter, man? Okay, it's in St. Francis. All right, close. All right, huge, heartfelt thank you to both Kinsman and Cargill. This is unbelievable, really moving us forward, so thank you so very much. It's through generosity like yours that we're getting closer to reaching our goal. We're just a few million away, and we're hoping to land there by the end of the year, so no pressure, everybody. And Tyler, thank you to your boss, Jeff Vassard, who's going to join us, right, on rescue on the island, and I'm sure he'll raise enough money that we will actually rescue him and fly him off the island. Fingers crossed and all that. Or you can pay us to leave him there. Your choice. There are, of course, many other donors who help keep STARS ready to fly at a moment's notice, who have given to our fleet renewal campaign and supported our operations. While we're acknowledging some of those here today, let me just say to each and every one of you, your generosity, how do we say thanks for that? But it's also your gifts of time, energy, as well as your generosity. So much has changed throughout the last 18 months. That sounds like a helicopter. But throughout it all, the need for helicopter emergency medical care has not diminished, nor is the need for a brand new STARS fleet. So what does a new helicopter mean to Manitoba? No, I'm kidding. That's not in my script. I don't know if you noticed. At STARS, we say it's all about the patient, and it is. As excited as we are for the new aircraft, at the end of the day, the helicopter is a very technologically advanced vehicle, but it's actually the hands in the back that make all the difference in the world. So a new fleet is an investment, as it has been said before, in the future of the communities we serve. It is a generational investment. It's our way of showing our commitment to being there for the next patient who may need us. Perhaps our friends, our neighbors, or even our loved ones, wherever they may be living, working, or playing throughout this amazing province for generations to come. Thank you.
Thanks again, Andrea. STARS allies don't have to look very far to see the impact of their support, and the impact is on the patients that they have helped. As somebody who works behind the scenes to help care for these patients every day, I can attest to the fact that STARS is truly all about the patient. However, once the missions are complete, sometimes as the patients leave our care, we wonder about their outcome. Reuniting with patients after we've transported them is an honor, an immense joy, and a potent reminder of why we do what we do. Ask any one of us at STARS, it's the best part of the job. We call these courageous people VIPs, very important patients. Many of them stay in touch, and we love getting to know them and their families. Sadly, our crews haven't had the opportunity to meet patients during the pandemic. It's one of the things that they most look forward to getting back to doing when it's again safe to do so. Our next guest is one of those patients whose incident occurred during the pandemic. I imagine today is extra special for him, as it's his first visit to the base and his first chance to meet his crew. Here to tell you about his experience with STARS and what our talented crew means to him, VIP Trevor Thompson.
Good morning, everyone. Really excited to be here today for the unveiling of the new cutting-edge STARS helicopter and what it means for the patients whose lives will be saved. My name is Trevor Thompson, and I'm from Brandon. I've been married to an amazing wife for over 22 years. She is a teacher. She could not be here today because it's her first day. I have 3 beautiful daughters here in the front row with me. I was a very active person. I was coaching and playing many sports, but on August 12th of last year, my life was turned upside down. I was involved in a serious mountain bike accident in Riding Mountain National Park. A few kilometers into the trail, I crashed headfirst into a ditch that was crossing the trail, and I snapped my neck backwards and crushed my spinal cord. I was immediately paralyzed from my shoulders down. My friend Aaron was with me. He tried calling 911, but we had no cell phone reception where we were. We contemplated leaving me on the trail, completely paralyzed, for him to go get help. But that would put me in a very vulnerable position with all the bears that were in the area. A short time after, some other cyclists came by, and they quickly went for help. I laid on the trail for approximately 3.5 hours in the sun that was beating down on my face. Paramedics and Parks Canada search and rescue team came to my help, and they extracted me off the trail and brought me to a parking lot where stars had landed. I was loaded onto the helicopter, and we began our flight to Health Sciences Center. During my flight, I thought I'd never be able to move again. I thought I'd be a burden to my family. I thought if I had to be in the wheelchair and not be able to move anything from other than my neck or my head, I thought I would rather, hate to say this, but I thought I'd rather die. I don't feel that now, of course. I had a lot of dark thoughts that went through my head during that flight. But Sarah, by my side, kept me calm, and we had a few joking moments too. I needed critical care. An ambulance could not have transported me fast enough. At my location, which was 3 hours from Winnipeg, an ambulance would have had to drive over gravel roads, and most of the time the conditions are washboard, over the rough highways that were under construction. The bouncing may have caused more nerve damage and spinal cord damage. STARS got me to HSC in half this time. If STARS was not in Manitoba to provide the quick response and critical care, I would not have been able to get the emergency care and surgery I desperately needed to be able to move again. I had to learn to walk, feed myself, bathe myself, and do all those simple things we all take for granted every day. I walked out of that hospital in less than a month, and I carried my own bags. I'm now doing the things that I love. I tried golfing, fishing, and I recently tried mountain biking. I tell people all the time to support STARS. I explain to them that every time they see that bright red helicopter flying over their head, that they could be landing to attend to their spouse, their best friend, or other family members that are injured and needing critical care and immediate transport. While in the hospital recovering, I had a view of the landing pad, and almost every day I saw STARS landing 5 to 8 times a day, and I cried every time, wondering if STARS crew had just saved someone's life and if that patient would be able to go home to their family. Without the support and donations, we would not have STARS in our province saving people's lives. Thank you to my friend Aaron, who was on the trail with me that day, the STARS crew, and especially my STARS nurse, Sarah, who went above and beyond that day. My life would not be the same without STARS. Thank you.
Thank you for that inspiring story. You and your fellow VIPs truly are the reason we get up in the morning. You're what the whole organization is about. And thanks to the crew, to Sarah and her team, for their skill and compassion during Trevor's mission, and for your support here today. Quite simply, your hands save lives. To everyone in this room, all of our allies, please know that it's your support that helps us fight for the lives of inspiring individuals like Trevor. Here's a video that shows just how much your support means to the patients we serve.
Somebody paid it forward to me for that helicopter to be in the air.
I just want to say thanks to everybody that supports STARS.
The people who help out in any way are saving lives every day.
The donors, the volunteers, the VIPs who go out and do stuff.
The people who buy lottery tickets, STARS calendars, bequests in a will. They're amazing.
I'm grateful for them every day. I do truly think about them every day.
I call them angels.
All those people that do that, honestly, there are no words.
It's unbelievable what they do, especially if they haven't been personally touched by it.
I can guarantee that everybody in the province is either already knows somebody or they are going to know somebody that needs the service.
You don't know what could be around the corner.
I never expected to need STARS, right? Who does?
You just never know.
You never know.
You never know.
You never know.
You just never know.
We never thought it would be my dad.
I didn't ever think it would happen to me. Here we've used them 3 times.
We're 3 strong with the STARS use.
We're in a small area here and there's been 3 people within 3 miles that have flown on STARS.
This is real. It affects real people in real situations.
If they weren't around, I wouldn't be here today.
I think the outcome 3 years ago would have been totally different.
If we didn't have it, I'd be dead.
We didn't have support like this, people die.
I'm here today because STARS was able to fly there and pick me up and fly me to a hospital.
Without STARS and without allies supporting them, I wouldn't be here. My family wouldn't have a father.
When people donate, they're saving people's lives. Every penny that they give is saving someone's husband, someone's dad, someone's kids, someone's spouse. It's a pretty big deal. You could be saving your own life one day by supporting STARS.
I did a fundraiser for the STARS. I think I made $400.
Instead of buying Christmas gifts, we all just pooled together and donated to STARS.
We did a Mother's Day fundraiser, and the other one we did beer and a haircut for the men.
Fellow kinsman started a ladies' night, Diamonds in the Sky, gives money back to STARS.
We had one birdhouse left over. The auctioneer said, let's sell that for STARS, $2,000.
Whether it's $5 to $500,000 and everywhere in between, every dollar counts.
Thank goodness for the donors.
It really means a lot. I want to give them a hug.
You guys are doing the right thing by making STARS possible.
It makes me cry a little bit to know that.
Because it's living proof of where that money's going.
I think you want to say a big thank you, right?
He's a little bit shy.
Every one of those dollars that people put in really makes a difference.
It makes a huge difference and goes a long, long way.
I believe it gave our daughter a chance that she wouldn't have had otherwise.
So I really would support anyone who wants to donate. You can have all the employees doing what they're doing, but if you don't have the support, you don't have the donors.
They're all intertwined, one can't happen without the other.
It would not be possible and it wouldn't be reaching as far and as wide.
What does a person say to that?
I would say thank you, a big thank you.
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 Thank you. Thank you so much.
From the bottom of our hearts.
A hearty thank you.
A huge thank you.
A huge, huge thank you.
Thank you. You guys are lifesavers.
Keep doing the work you're doing.
You don't think you're gonna need it, but when you do, you're sure thankful.
Well, folks, are you getting anxious to see the helicopter? If you think it's been a long wait for you, just think about how excited our crews are and how much they've been eagerly anticipating this day, literally for years. In preparation to start flying missions this fall, the pilots have been training in the simulator and hitting the flight manuals. Our engineers have been in classroom training and getting chances to see the new technology up close. They've put in hundreds of hours of education and simulation. And the air medical crews have been reviewing the new cabin layout as they prepare to train in the advanced medical interior on board. All crew members are preparing for their final flight in the BK-117, the aircraft that has served Manitobans so well over the years. The new H145 will soon be here, but just before it lands, I'm very pleased to introduce one of our Winnipeg pilots, who also happens to be an expert on the H145, to tell us more about the aircraft and the process of fleet renewal. Let's bring to the podium STAR's Chief Aviation Officer, David Harding.
Okay, what a lovely slot to have pulled right after your amazing story and the video. I'll just try to keep it together. First off, I'll say this is the most dangerous part of the program because I've asked a pilot to talk about aircraft. So I apologize, and I will hopefully keep this short. Just on behalf of our flight crews, we can't put into words how excited we are about bringing this new capability into the province. We've been flying, as we call it, the stalwart old BK-117 for a while, and it's a tremendous aircraft. I can't say enough about it. I've flown 14 different types of aircraft. This aircraft is by far my favorite so far, because I haven't qualified on the 145 yet. The BK's been with us, as Andrea said. It's 35 years old. It's a reliable aircraft. It's a powerful aircraft, and it does what we need it to do. It allows us to transport our amazing crews and our amazing transport physicians to the people that need it most and get them back to the tertiary facilities where they need to be to continue on their care journey. But the BK is getting old. So knowing that, back in 2013, we decided to see, well, how long can the BK last? How long can we expect to be viable with this aircraft on a 24/7, 365-day basis? And no aircraft can last forever. We know that. And we could see, oddly enough, in 2021 was what they told us, that we were going to start to run into some issues if we continue with the aircraft. And so the fleet renewal process came. So how do you replace what, to many in the world, is the perfect air ambulance? Well, you find the perfect air ambulance to replace it. And when we were drawing up the specs, we kept it simple. You know, it had to be able to fly 1 million miles an hour, go to the sun and back in about a minute, and carry 75 patients, everything else. Just simple things. But unfortunately, as pilots, we don't always get what we want. In reviewing all the specifications and knowing that we had to operate from the Rocky Mountains to the plains and down into the Red River Valley, it's a pretty broad performance range to have to operate in. And the H145 fits the bill perfectly, as the BK before it did. In fact, you can see a little bit of resemblance between the two aircraft, because indeed the 145 is more or less the great-granddaughter of the BK-117. It's got all of the same attributes, being able to land in a tiny area, being able to transport people efficiently, huge cabin with a huge clamshell door to load the patients in and out. But it's also got benefits that the BK just doesn't have. Modern avionics. The crews have such enhanced situational awareness that the pilots are able to pick up on more things on a mission than they would have with the BK. We were too busy before with the old aircraft, just flying the thing and operating the mission. This aircraft allows us to participate more in some of the decision-making overall for that patient mission. Another benefit, oddly enough, for Winnipeg, being a large urban center, for coming in and out of the HSC all of the time, noise becomes an issue for a helicopter. This aircraft is super quiet compared to the BK. And I think we're going to wind up hearing our 145 land very soon, and we're also going to have the BK coming back from HSC soon after that. So we may get to compare it. But it's a huge benefit to us for that aircraft to be able to get in and out of HSC and not cause any more undue noise stress or anything on the local population, because we shouldn't have to. Talking about the aircraft and its capabilities is one thing. The real capability, as folks have alluded to, is in the back end. So we have a medical interior in the back that is world-class. It's a tremendous capability. We've got the same equipment that we have, the world-leading equipment that we have in the back of the BK. However, the method that we are putting that equipment in and employing it by our AMC is just vastly improved with this new aircraft. From the stretcher bridge to all of the capabilities in the back, to an oxygen system that is I think we carry more oxygen than any other medical helicopter in North America now, which is interesting, but it's also a great capability to have because it never becomes an issue. So I've tried to keep this short, and what I'm going to say to you now is that our 145 is on its way, coming in very shortly, and I think we're going to cut over to that feed right away, and there we are. and we're so glad that you folks were here to share it with us for the first landing of the 145 here on our dolly, beloved dolly. I did say that the aircraft was quiet, and I promise that music doesn't play every single time we come in. However, I can't promise that it doesn't play in the pilots' heads as they're coming in on every landing. So, oh boy, it's just a tremendous moment for us. Couldn't be happier. They're going to be spooling the engines down, and we're going to be towing the aircraft over for you folks to get a closer look and inspect it. This aircraft is truly setting us up for the next several decades of operations at STARS across all the provinces, the prairies. The whole process started back, as I said, in 2013, and really once we decided that the BK-117 had to be replaced, we were obviously on the hunt, and we're going to take a little bit of a look back at that process, not all the way back to 2013, because I'm sure none of you guys want to see me next to a chalkboard with a couple of people talking about things. A little further along in the process, but the video will show you what we went through and how we selected the aircraft and got it into service. So thank you again so much for being a part of today, and I just can't wait to see the good that comes of operating this aircraft in this province and the enhanced ability for our medical crews to provide care to the people of Manitoba.
So you know what, folks, I think we'll get started. Thank you for joining us. Welcome and good morning. The big news is that we're moving forward with our fleet replacement. We've chosen an aircraft. It's the Airbus H145. Very similar in look and feel to the BK-117. There's been lots and lots of work been going into fleet renewal and fleet replacement. Some of our initial training will occur in Europe. So Scott will be taking a team to Germany. The medical interior that was chosen is Aerolite. It's a clip-in, clip-out interior with the intent that it's scalable and changeable for the future. Today, STARS has taken one little baby step, but we've also taken a huge, gigantic step for the long-term sustainability of this organization.
Oh, all right. I don't know about you, my Apple Watch actually told me that I'd been standing still, but my heart rate was climbing, which tells you a little bit about how excited I was about the idea of watching that land here for the first time. Thanks, David, for introducing us to our new bird, a truly historic moment. We're just minutes away from actually getting to see it. You can hear the skid steer pulling it into position. I'd like to ask Andrea up here one more time before we end the program to lead us in a bit of a fun group activity to bring that beautiful MBQ home.
Thanks, Julian, and everyone's sick and tired of sitting, right? It's time to get up and peek at the new aircraft. Surprisingly difficult to choreograph this whole thing, right? It's got to land, right, Dave? It's got to land. Yeah, anyway, it's here. And I got to say, yeah, it might be quieter, Dave, but that music did help a lot, right? To drown out some of the signs. So we are going to have a little bit of fun just as we're coming in. So I don't know if you noticed, but in your name tag, in behind, there might be a little ribbon tucked in there. Can I ask you to just pull those out? Okay. So you may have noticed on the aircraft, it's got 3 lines on it. They are significant. We've talked a little bit about them as we've had the program this morning. So let me tell you a little bit about those lines. So the white lines, there's 3 of them on the side of the aircraft. It's a bit of a nod to the livery of our current BK fleet, but it also holds deeper meaning. The lines represent 3 very important roles that we've touched on and roles that everybody in this room plays for STARS. One line stands for our talented, world-class crew. That's everyone at STARS, whether you work in the air or on the ground. Another line stands for our generous allies, who are the lifeblood behind the life-saving efforts that we undertake every day. Everyone who turned out today is an ally and has supported us for years. The middle line, of course, represents our patients. That's the whole reason we're here. So this white ribbon that you were given when you arrived today, it's because you represent one of those lines. So I'm going to ask each of you to do something for me. If you are a VIP, a very important patient, you either stand or wave. I know some of you are here. Awesome. Stand up because you can, buddy. Yay! Oh no, stay standing. If you're a member of our STARS crew, please stand and wave your white ribbon. Stand up, crew. Everybody, up you get. And finally, if you're a STARS ally, please stand up. That's everybody, folks. Woohoo! All right, on the aircraft, there are call signs. I don't know if you noticed it when it was flying above. It says MBQ, the MB, obviously big call out, government, thank you. This is your Manitoba aircraft, and I want to, open the doors and show it to you. So let's wave our ribbons, and all together, we're going to say MBQ on the count of 3. You ready? 1, 2, 3, MBQ! Woo! Come on outside and see it.
amazing to be here. And for those of you who are still joining us on the live stream today, thank you so much very important for the Winnipeg base, but for all of STARS and what it represents for the patients and the people of this province and all of Western Canada with our fleet renewal project progressing as it is. And it's all thanks to the allies who have been here to help make it happen. As you can see, people are getting to get outside, get the mask off, see the H145 up close and personal. And so it seems like we've reached the peak. We will end our live stream in a few moments, but first, we've got a video that really sums up what Stars in Manitoba is about and really goes back to how we even came to be here. That video is called Answering the Call. It will start shortly. Once again, thank you for being here with us today. Stay safe.
In 2009, the floodwaters of the Assiniboine rose. Communities were cut off from vital health care, patients were in need, and STARS answered the call. One of those patients was a young boy named Samuel. As the 8-year-old played by the bank of a swollen creek, he fell in and was swept into a culvert. After 20 minutes of CPR, Samuel was lifeless. Paramedics were on the way, but the nearest hospital was a 2-hour drive. Just days into our flood response deployment, a STARS helicopter touched down in a rural field where the boy lay unresponsive. He was transported to Health Sciences Center in critical condition. His parents kept a vigil for 13 days while Samuel lay in a coma. Then, Samuel awoke. Since that mission, there have been many more patients who needed STARS, whether on the highway, lakeside cottages, from farms to villages, towns to cities. 24 hours a day, we stand at the ready. STARS Red Helicopter is a beacon of hope for patients on the darkest day of their life. And with a new fleet of technologically advanced Airbus H145 helicopters, we are committed to being that hope for generations of Manitobans to come. But it's about more than the helicopter. It's what's inside that counts. A flying intensive care unit, equipped with ultrasound, blood supplies for transfusions, medications, monitors, and leading-edge ventilators, the most advanced critical care environment in Manitoba skies. On board each mission is a critical care nurse and a critical care paramedic. From the moment they arrive at a patient's side to when they land at the receiving hospital, the STARS Air Medical Crew provides the highest level of medical care available. Our team is made up of some of Manitoba's most skilled and capable nurses, and we are the only employer in Manitoba to have critical care paramedics registered with the College of Paramedics to equip them to fight for the lives of our patients. We provide a 20-week STARS Academy training program when they sign on, and 125 hours of skill-building education and simulation every year to keep their skills razor sharp. Plus, our transport physicians provide round-the-clock medical oversight and have the ability to join the crew on board the helicopter when required. Whether it's Samuel's mission in 2009 or the more than 5,000 we've flown since then, our focus remains the same: to be where Manitobans need us the most. Because we know when it's the lives of your family, friends, and neighbors on the line, they need more than just a helicopter. They need the very best care available. In Manitoba, that means STARS.